Welcome to Elevation 740. I'm Linnea Noreen, your host. Today I have Audrey Williams, the Director of Operations for the Lewis-Clark Animal Shelter. Welcome, Audrey. We're so excited you're here.
Yes, thanks for having me.
We get to talk about pets.
Animals.
So fun. So tell me about the shelter. What do you do? Who do you serve? And how are you funded?
So, first of all, the animal shelter has been in this valley since the 1950s. We are a nonprofit organization. We depend pretty heavily on donations from the community. And really what we do, which is adoption services, next year, we're very hopeful to start our spay and neuter clinic back up again to provide those services to the community. But what we do, it is all thanks to our community. We would not be where we are without them, and they're just our biggest supporters of what we can do.
And what's the area then that you serve? Like what's your reach?
So we are the shelter for Nez Perce County and Asotin County. We also help the Nez Perce Tribe and Idaho State Police and the city of Asotin. So we do have several contracts, and we do have funds that come in from those contracts for them to utilize our facility. But yeah, we serve a pretty large area.
That is a large area.
Yeah.
That's a lot of animals coming in. So how many
is.
animals are we talking about every year?
So last year we took in about a little over 1,000 animals.
That's a ton.
Yeah.
That's like 3 a day.
Yep. There's days where we have like 16 cats come in, or there's days
I'm
where
like going to start crying. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love cats.
Yeah. It's kind of our mantra at the shelter is that you have to think positive and you have to find the positives every day. There's definitely a lot of hard and a lot of sad, but there's a lot of just being honored that people want to bring animals to the shelter and they trust us to help them and provide the best care. And that's really where we need to have that mindset is people trust us. They want us to help them. And so even though it's really sad, like I would rather not have 16 cats come into the shelter, but they're better just being at the shelter where they're getting love and care, and eventually they can find, their forever homes.
And is it dogs and cats exclusively, or do you also have other animals that come into your shelter?
Primarily dogs and cats. We've had the guinea pigs, we've had the rabbits, goat. That was a special one. But, goat went back home to its owner. So we're very creative in trying to find owners. We're constantly looking on Facebook. Just anything that we can do to try to get these dogs and these cats back home, we're going to do it.
Awesome. So I'm curious, what is the most memorable experience that you've had at the shelter?
I'm going to say it's not going to be the happiest story, but it really affected a lot of the shelter staff. And that was...
And so, by the way, do I need to take my tissue box out here and cry?
You might.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to try not to cry.
All right, let's hear it. Viewer warning.
Yeah. So, we all got off work one day, and it was after hours. And at the time, I was the kennel manager for the shelter, and the director had called me and said, "Hey, just so you know, I just got a call from the police department, and they had a huge hoarding case, and we were going to have 20 plus small dogs come into the shelter tomorrow morning." 20?
Mm-hmm. In one house?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And they were all coming to the shelter, and this, less than 24 hours notice.
And how many do you have enough room for 20 dogs to begin with?
Nope.
Okay.
So after getting that phone call, I had just a panic attack.
Yeah.
And it was, no one has ever experienced that at the shelter before. And so the next day we get to work, and there are just dogs everywhere. And the real kicker is that these dogs, they were not social. They weren't just like happy to see you, I love you type dogs. They had like zero socialization. And
wow.
so we ended up having to put 2 dogs to a kennel, and they've just completely filled up the shelter. And that really, due to the fact that we couldn't even touch them, made it very stressful for us.
Do you know what was happening? How would that happen?
You know, it's hard to say why this stuff happens. And I think a lot of this stuff happens and no one really knows. You don't know until it comes up. And these dogs have been living in the house, you know, for years and years. They weren't puppies, so it wasn't just like they were just born. They had been like that for years and years. And, you know, I don't know the exact details, but I think someone finally called them about it. And these poor dogs, they were scared out of their minds. They had no idea what was happening. Some of them probably never saw the outside.
Wow.
And now they're here at the shelter.
So what did you guys do?
Honestly, the first thought that comes to your mind is, what are we going to do? We have all these dogs, and we don't have enough room. We can't touch them. How do we give them care?
Wow.
How do we vaccinate them? How do we do anything with these dogs? How do we get them adopted? Are we going to be able to adopt these dogs out? And it took a full year to get all of them adopted out.
Wow.
A full year to get, and we worked day and night with these dogs, just trying to make friends with them, get them used to the leash, because most of them had never even seen a leash or a collar before.
Wow.
So it was a whole new learning experience. And some of the staff had called these dogs feral.
Wow.
It was a very challenging time. And, you know, it was just burnout day after day, just trying to do the best that we could.
Do you have a volunteer capacity, or like are there people that you normally would bring in for situations like that can help ease the work that needs to be done here?
Not at that time. We didn't really have a whole lot of volunteers to help us out. It was primarily just the staff that were getting these animals the best care that we could possibly give them, and just trying to get them to the point where they could be adopted. And I am proud to say that we adopted out all of those dogs.
That is impressive. That's impressive. 20 dogs.
Yeah.
Wow.
We actually,
well, and that's not including then everything else that's coming into you on a regular basis. So, I mean, you're already full. You're getting more animals.
That was the thing too. We were like, well, how can we even take any more animals in, because we don't even have the space.
Right.
So yeah, I think one of the most memorable adoptions from that group was George. He was adopted exactly a year from when he came in, and he went to an awesome home, and we were just like super ecstatic that we're like, hey, we got them all adopted. And I think that's just a testament to how much hard work goes into caring for these animals and what we do. And because of all that hard work that we do, we, for 2 years, for 2022 and 2023, we now have a no-kill status, where we have exceeded 90% or higher for our save rate for dogs and cats.
Wow.
And that takes a lot of gumption and a lot of work. And
wow. So just so then I understand that, so oftentimes what happens in shelters then is if you can't adopt out pets, then you have to kill them? Is that what I just heard?
There is a lot of different reasons why a shelter might do humane euthanasia. We are proud to say that we do not euthanize for time, space, age, breed, color. We truly try to use euthanasia as a last resort. And when we do have to consider it, it's a team discussion, and it's not just something that we make an easy decision on. It's a very difficult decision, and it's something that we do as a team, and we just pull all of the different factors. And most of the reason why we do euthanize is because of extreme aggression and community safety, and also extreme medical cases where the quality of life of the animal, you know, if the animal's suffering, we don't want to make it suffer any longer.
Right.
So I think it's just a testament with that hoarding case that we, despite not having the space to, first of all, take the dogs or have enough of a notice, but also being able to take in all the other animals that were coming in during that time, we didn't even consider that. We're going to get these dogs adopted.
That's pretty amazing. Well, then that leads to the next question, because I know you're trying to build a new shelter. So can you tell me a little bit about what's driving that and where you're at and what you need from the community?
Yeah. So I think that hoarding situation says a lot about why we need a new building, just not having the appropriate space to be able to take in situations like that. And on top of that, taking in any other animals that need to come into the shelter.
Well, so then another question. So, because there's definitely times then as a shelter where, because I'm thinking about the time when I was in Seattle, I get a call from you guys. We have your cat. I'm like, oh my gosh, how did the cat get out?
Right.
But the cat is at this shelter. I'm in Seattle, and you guys closed at 5, and I had to like get in my car and like race back to Lewiston. So obviously I got my cat back within 24 hours. So what percentage of these sorts of reunions happen? Like how many pets are being taken back by their owners because they just got out or something happened?
To kind of give you maybe an idea for like a whole year, we had about 30 cats go back home to their owners for the entire year.
Oh my.
It's a very sad number. But for dogs, about a little over 400 dogs went back home to their owners in a year, and that was last year. So I think that's one of the reasons why we have dogs up for adoption, is because we have these animals that no one comes and claims.
Right.
So I think really just putting it out there for people that if you're missing your pet, please check with the shelter.
Right.
And we want to get your dog back home to you. We want to get your cat back home to you. Please just check. And if you're missing a cat or a dog, like call us, put in a lost report.
Right.
We'll try to help you get.
Well, ours had a little chip in the back.
Perfect.
So that's
another thing too.
That's how I got the call.
Microchip your pets.
Yeah.
Your dogs and your cats, especially your cats. If your cat is an outside cat, put a collar on your cat. Put a tag. Those little things can help keep your pet out of the shelter and help your cat or your dog go back home to you. Identification is simple, but it's also a huge thing that you can do to keep your pet out of the shelter.
Mm-hmm. So just in terms of then the shelter space, because I'm realizing, okay, so you've got, for example, these 20 dogs that came in, you've got your routine thing, then you've got the people like me who have these cats that like ran in. So when you build this new shelter, what is that going to look like? Like tell me about the shelter.
The dream for the new building is that we are going to be able to provide more services to the community, provide better care for the animals in the shelter who are staying with us, and just being a resource for the community. We want to be a place where people can come for advice if they're having issues with their pets. If they're like, hey, my dog is doing this every time I, reach for the food, or if anything, like we'll help you. Let's try to help you keep your pet in your home. And if people are needing help with veterinary care, we want to be there to give them that low cost veterinary care. And that is sometimes the reason why people need to surrender their pets, is because they can't afford medical care, or they can't afford to even buy food for their pets. And a lot of people are probably going to be thinking, well, if they can't afford to feed their pet, then they shouldn't have a pet. And we hear that a lot. And this is something that I have learned over the years at the shelter, is that you can't be judgmental towards people. You don't know what their story is. Right. You don't know where they're at in their life. And that's the perfect example of how we can be a resource for those types of people, and no judgment. And we get it. Life happens. And if you need help to keep your pet in your home, we want to help you. And that's it. that's why we want to be the new building. We want to be a resource. We want to be able to help people better, more efficiently, and just everything animal related. We just want to, we want to be there. You want to
be it.
Yeah.
So how far, so where are you in the process?
We've completed phase 1 of the campaign, and that has essentially gotten us the garage or the Sallyport portion of the shelter, and that is where animal control can go in and drop off animals. And then we've also gotten the concrete foundation poured for the main building. And at this point, that has been about $2 million that we've already spent on the building. And we're approaching phase 2 now, where we're trying to shell in the building and just start getting more of make it look like a building is actually up there.
Right. And how much is that part going to cost?
I think we're looking at probably another $2 million for that.
And then what's the cost of the overall project?
Probably about $7 million total, which has increased greatly over the years. Originally, the plan was estimated to be around 4 to 5 probably, and now we're approaching 7.
Because construction costs, of course, keep going up. So, of course, the next question is, how can we help? So if any of our viewers and people who are in the community want to help, what do they need to do?
Yeah. I think if there is anyone out there who wants to help make a difference in the lives of animals and also help support their community, the shelter is going to be a great place for them to consider. In that regard, if you come out and you volunteer, you're working with the dogs, you're working with the cats, and you're just petting them, you're just walking them. As simple as that sounds, that is actually making the biggest difference for that animal, because they're getting that one-on-one time.
I'm going to send my daughter up there to just pet cats.
Do it.
She would love that.
We used to have kids come out and read stories to the cats.
Oh, my goodness.
And it was the sweetest thing, just having all these little kids in there just reading to all the cats. So volunteering is a big piece of how you can help make a difference. You really are helping us save lives. You're making a difference for that animal. And I'm actually going to talk about a little bit of a book that I read, and it was about this person who was on this beach, and they took all these starfishes that they would find, and they would throw them back out into the ocean. And this other person came up and said, you're not really, there's so many starfishes on the beach, you're not going to make a difference. And the person came back to that guy and said, I made a difference for that one.
Very true.
So that, I think, is, even though you just came out for an hour and you walk that dog, you made a difference for that one.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So are there other ways, like if people want information about how to contribute to the capital campaign, what are some ways that they can get involved with that?
Yeah. A good way to start would be to come out to the shelter. We are at 6 Shelter Road in Lewiston, Idaho, and schedule a tour with us. We would love to talk to you about what we do, how we can do it together, and just kind of where we're currently at with our building and where we want to be. And there is also the option to obviously make a donation, and you can either do that in person at the shelter, or you can go on our website at lcushelter.org and make a donation online. We would be happy to talk to anybody about donating to the shelter if you have more questions. We are very willing to talk.
Excellent. Well, do you have anything else that you wanted to share with our viewers?
Remember that starfish story. Remember that even just come out and help. You truly are making a difference for the animals just by being there and spending time with that one animal or that one cat. And just immerse yourself in that. You're making a difference. You're doing good. And that is something to be proud of. And we would definitely appreciate the help.
Well, thank you so much, Audrey, for coming. It's been really fascinating. I'm really excited about what you have in store. Thank you for watching Elevation 740, and we will see you again next time.